Hello and welcome to another episode of Stoke Fan TV with myself, Sam. And we have not got Max again this week, but we have got some good news. He has welcomed another little Stokey into his family. So massive congratulations to Max and his family at the minute. We're here today after Stoke have just won 1-0 against Wrexham. SAMCAM joins us today and Pete the Potter. Hello, both of you. Hello, Pete.
Hello, you okay?
Hello there. Nice to see you
Hello,
again.
Sam. Hello, Pete. I believe you were at the match yesterday, Sam. You've done a video all about it. We'll be getting some
I have,
thoughts from
yeah.
you. And Pete, you've seen the extended highlights, haven't you, mate? You weren't able to get
I
to a game
I have
yesterday.
indeed. I've watched those, taken my notes, done my homework for the show, of course.
Wicked. But before we get into that, Stoke fans, make sure that you click pause on the video, click the like button at the bottom, and make sure that you subscribe to Stoke Fan TV because all of it makes a difference. And also, whilst you're there, make sure you give Sam Camp and his channel a follow too.
Yeah,
Right.
We've hit seven. I've got a big thank you to say to Stoke fans. Actually, we've hit 7,000 subscribers today. So a big thank you
wow.
to anyone who's subscribed to my channel,
Wow.
who's watching now. I appreciate it big time. Thank you.
Well
Yeah,
done, mate. That's
and just for the record, I haven't got any channels at all. Yeah. I can barely switch on the laptop, so you forget Pete the Potter TV. That's not going to happen.
that's great that Sam comes up to 7,000. I think we're at about 2.5 at the minute. But how long have you been going for, Sam?
A lot longer than you, mate. So that's probably why. I mean, I've been going 4, 5 years now.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
so
institution
dedication to
now.
the cause. Dedication to the cause, Stoke fans. That's what you see a proper Stoke fan like there. Right. You were at the game, Sam. What
I
did
was.
you reckon to the performance yesterday?
You know what, Sam? It was far from our best. I'll be completely honest. The game was certainly not a Hollywood blockbuster. I'll play on the Wrexham joke at the moment. But look, one thing I'll say that I found actually really positive about us not playing well was that we still won the game. And the Stoke of old, you should say, the Stoke of the last few seasons in the Championship, if we'd have performed like that, we'd have performed nowhere near our best. We'd have caved in and would have probably lost the game and would certainly not have won it. So the fact that for me, yes, the goal, it was very lucky, very fortuitous, an enticing cross, and it goes all the way in. It wasn't a brilliant performance. It wasn't a brilliant win. It's not one that I'll remember forever. But what I will remember from it for now is that it's a Stoke team that is full of grit, it's full of determination, and it's a Stoke team that's willing to fight. If it's not going their way, which it wasn't for a lot of points yesterday, we were under the pressure quite a lot from Wrexham, and to be honest, I thought they could have gone in front a number of times before we took the lead. So yeah, it's a Stoke team with a lot of positives at the moment. I think the Stoke fans are feeling very positive at the moment, and yesterday certainly helped to build off that because we were going through a little spell of a lack of wins, wasn't it? I think it was one win in the last seven in all competitions. So to end that side of dip of form, it was nice to see as well.
Yeah, we had quite a bit of a run of draws, and then we've come back and we've won this game. I think you got it right. I think we've said it a few times on the show recently. The teamness and the togetherness of the Stoke players at the minute is something that we haven't really seen for a while, and I think it's testament to Mark Robbins and what he's done, especially to the defence. I think what is it? I think we conceded the least amount of goals in the league all season. Is that right?
That's correct, mate. Yeah.
So it's unbelievable. Pete, what do you reckon to it, mate?
I mean, I was really impressed, and yeah, and I've had a lot of years in football playing and managing youth level teams, and it's about winning. It's about winning, and Arsenal made a habit of it, didn't they? Certainly 20 years ago with that chant 1-0 to the Arsenal, and I'm thinking we might end up having a chant 1-0 to the Stoke City. It doesn't really work, does it? But yeah, it's, and I think it's all about the stability of the team off a lot of the style. Obviously, because I didn't go to the game, I didn't see a lot of the what we did when we didn't have the ball, which is what coaches look at, and they always say fans look at what teams do with the ball, coaches look at what we do without the ball, and I think there must be a huge improvement in that, and I think it's players like Seko who I admit a couple of weeks ago I was on this show I was not too impressed with, but he has been fantastic, and of course all the defence have. We've hardly Hardly let in. In fact, I don't think we've let in 2 goals yet. Is that right, Sam and Sam? We've not,
Oh, you're testing me now.
I don't think we've let in the league, let in more than 1 goal. But I might be wrong. So
No, I think you're right, Pete. I think you're
I
right.
think
I'm
people are
trying to
going to
cast my
write
mind.
in.
We've only lost
Yeah,
1-0.
yeah. So yeah, and I agree with Sam about it wasn't the best match. In fact, even when the goal went in, the fans didn't seem to sort of, maybe because they didn't expect it to go in. There wasn't was there an explosion of joy? I don't know. Um, but um, but we won, and that's what it's all about. 3 points. Thank you very much. On to the next one.
Yeah, that's it. It's all about the wins, and if we can keep getting these 1-0 wins and keep us at the top of the table, I think that's what Stoke fans will want. And I think it's it's difficult to say, but I think the expectation levels are raising. I think we're disappointed. The most disappointing thing about yesterday's game is we should have won that 4-0. And there's the disappointing things that we're looking at are the missed opportunities instead of the mistakes of the defence that we were talking about all last season and the season before and struggling to get anything from any games. I think there's a few things that need working on, I believe. I
Mm.
think the strikers, I think we need to have a little bit more options going forward. Pete, you're nodding. What do you reckon to that?
Yeah, I think Mubama again. Just I'm really into body language, and Mubama to me again. Sam will be able to tell me whether he rated him yesterday. But from what I saw, which was nowhere near as much as I wanted to, Mubama's body language looked a bit low. I felt he sort of almost like doesn't believe he's going to score at the moment. Was that would
Mm.
you say, Sam? And so
That-
I'm a little bit worried about how it's impacting him. And of course, he's still really young, isn't he? So did he have a good game? I don't know.
I think yesterday I agree with what you're saying about his body language. I think he was very isolated throughout the game. Really, there wasn't a lot that really came to him. He was very much working off scraps, and you just touched on it there. He's a young player. He's raw. He's very very raw, and 9 times out of 10 in a game for the full 90 minutes or for however long he's on, he works his absolute backside off,
Yeah.
and that's what Stoke fans love. That is what they love in a player. If you could ask for anything, Stoke fans will want work ethic, and Divine Obama provides that week in, week out. No matter if it's a midweek game away in Middlesbrough, when he comes off the bench and still works hard, or whether it's like yesterday where he's working off scraps and he still works hard. So yeah, the goals aren't coming for him at the minute, and I do think when you're dealing with young strikers, you're going to see a lot of inconsistency. Cast your mind back to Liam Delap when we had him on loan from Manchester City.
Oh yeah,
It's not because they're not a talented footballer. It's because they're young, they need experience. And this is why Mabama's on loan with Stoke in the Championship, to give him that. And the goals will come again for him, I'm sure. And he's just in a little bit of a slow patch right now. But no, I wouldn't be too quick to jump on his back at all so far.
There was one. There was
No,
one clip of him. He was doing really well. He got a chance to whip it in, curl it in with his left, and he absolutely skied it. And you could tell he was frustrated. He sort of screamed, and I thought that's a guy who's not happy at the moment with himself. But you're right, Sam. I've never heard anyone complain about him at the stadium, online. I've certainly not read anything. People are saying, get rid of him, do this, do that. So yeah, that does mean and show us that we like a trier, don't we? We like a trier. We like somebody who will fight and fight and fight. So, but a lot of the talk online is about. But I mean, again, I wasn't there, but it's about the Bosnich 10 minutes or so that he had, and the impact he had with his play, but also his housery. That I don't actually know. I don't know what he did, so I don't know whether you two did.
To be honest, Pete, I'm not the biggest fan of Bosnic so far. I think you find when players come across from abroad, it might take them quite a long time to adjust. And I think we're seeing with him at the moment. He wasn't bad when he came on yesterday. He had a little bust up with Callum Doyle. That's probably what you're on about. And of course, the Stoke fans love that kind of thing. But if we're on about a striker at Championship level, it kind of worries me, to be honest. With Gallagher injured, I don't know when he's coming back. If Bosnic's our only backup and Mabama is to get injured, which is very likely, he's a young lad playing 46 games a season, I doubt he's going to stay fit for the majority of it. So if Bosnic has to come in and fill that spot, it sounds really negative. And I hate to be negative about my own players, but I just don't know if Bosnick has the ability to fulfil that. I mean, I'd love it if he had the chance and he proved me wrong, but I just don't see it personally. I don't know.
No, I've not seen anything really from Bosnick yet to rave about. Have you, Pete? Really?
No, I haven't, but I still think he could potentially be a number 10, but especially if Junho's not going to be back for a while. I just think he's got touches. I'm older than you, a lot older than you two, and I remember Teddy Sheringham and players like that who didn't score loads and loads, but they had a good football brain and they could set other players up. So I'm not comparing him to Teddy Sheringham, but I'm saying he could open doors for other players as well. But he needs to be given a chance. And I'm reading that people think he might start this week against
Oh
Millwall.
gosh,
So it'll
I
be
hope not.
interesting to see. Will Mabama cope with the Millwall fans and all that stuff? So yeah, I think he probably won't. But people are saying give him a chance, give him a chance. But I don't know. You don't change a winning formula, do you? And at the
No.
moment, we have a winning formula with the solid backs and midfield changing a bit, but it's working. We're stable, and we're getting and as Sam, we were talking before the show, is we're doing so much better than last year.
Yeah, I'm going to look at last season's table after 10 games in a minute, but you're right. I think we're doing well. We've got the winning formula. The defence is playing solidly. Yes, we're missing Bosun Lawal, obviously. He has been a rock since he's come in this season and been one of the best defenders we've had in ages. But shout out to Phillips yesterday. I think
Mm.
Phillips put in his best performance so far this season yesterday. He won everything in the air. Do you reckon the
Amazing,
same,
and
Sam?
yeah,
Or Pete?
yeah. Sam, did you? I mean, obviously Sam saw
Yeah,
it.
no. I did. I think he's had a real shaky start, to be honest. Whenever I've seen Phillips
Yeah,
play for Stoke before yesterday, I thought this isn't the Phillips we saw last season. But no, yesterday it was him back to his best, and he dealt with Kiefer Moore, who's that big physical presence. He's full of confidence at the moment. He kept him quiet for the majority of the game, really, and I think him alongside Wilmot works really well. And I would like to say before we pass this over to Pete as well, with our defence right now, we've already spoke about how defensively sharp we've been so far this season, but I think the fact that we've got Ashley Phillips as a backup centre-back speaks absolute volumes for the recruitment in the summer and the depth we've got as a team right now, and the reason we may be successful in the top half of the Championship this season, because Bosun Lawal and Ben Wilmot formed a superb partnership at the start of this season, as we've seen in the stats, barely
yeah.
conceding any goals, really, really strong. Bosun Lawal picks up an injury out for a few weeks, and you're thinking, we could be in trouble here, but we're not, because we've got Ashley Phillips, and I think that, like I've just said, it speaks volumes. And like I said, I think yesterday, to reiterate your question, Sam, I think he was back to his best, and it was really nice to see.
You agree,
Yeah, and
Pete?
you've got to be in the right. I mean, people have been talking about Ashley Phillips, be heading the ball out, but you've got to be in the right position to head the ball out, to head the ball away, and I think he's just got that. He's got this in sort of natural sense of where you've got to be, and that they're very rare, those defenders. Some need to be taught where to be most of the time, but he doesn't need to be taught that. I think he just knows. And it makes you think. I mean, that we could talk for half an hour about this, but it makes you think, if he wasn't back with us at Stoke, what would we have done if Lawal had obviously got this injury, the hamstring, I think, isn't it? And Phillips wasn't there. So who would have played there? And I suppose, would we have risked Maxi, or is there somebody else? Would we have put
Ben
Gibson back in?
Gibson.
But anyway, it's not happened. It's not going to happen. Nobody's going to get injured. But all I did listen. I listened to another sort of podcast at the gym this morning, and they were saying the person who should be very worried is Junior. When Lawal comes back, Junior might end up losing his place to Lawal, but I'm not so sure. Again,
No way.
Don't change it. Don't change it. If anything, it's Lawal's an extra midfielder now. Maybe defensive midfielder might allow Rigo to push up a bit, or give Seko a rest, etc. But anyway,
It's
It's
great the
all good.
depth.
It's all good.
It's great the depth we've got in defence. I think it's pretty obvious that Mark Robbins and John Walters and the recruitment staff are going to be looking at the striker situation in January. I'm just thinking to myself, how well would Tom Cannon be doing in this Stoke team at the minute? Like, I can't help but think it. Like, you got Sheffield United struggling. Tom Cannon's not even getting the games. He would be so good in this Stoke team at the minute with the balls that are being put in. What do you reckon, Sam?
I don't know. I don't know. I was
Yeah.
the biggest fan of Tom Cannon when he was at Stoke. I actually said before any rumours came in that I wanted to, out of any striker realistically on my wish list last summer, so the summer from last season, that Tom Cannon would be my number one. It then happened and he scored 11 goals in half a season. He was really good. He did the job perfectly. But Tom Cannon now, I don't know what it is at Sheffield United, but he seemed to have really dropped off. I think his goals have dried up, his confidence has dried up. You can see that when he plays, he's chasing off scraps. And I mean, he's actually being pipped by our former striker Tyrese Campbell, who's actually a good mate of mine. So it is good to see in that respect. But yeah, no, Tom Cannon in this Stoke team right now, I think it'd be better than Bozanic. But no,
Yeah.
I think I'm happy with my Barmer actually at the minute.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've forgotten about him, and I used to be like, I used to sort of find out if he played, and if he was going to come back. I have actually not thought about him for several months now, which must be a good sign. Must be a good sign. Yeah, of course we could do with a 20 goal a season guy, but I think again we'd have to change formation and stuff like that. So I just think we'll just let it go. And I think if he was going to come back, he would have come back by now. So it's just one of those. We thank him for what he did when he was here, but it's he won't come back. I don't think. And prove me wrong, but I don't think he'll come back.
no, that's fair enough. Right, so we've spoke about yesterday's game. Brilliant result. Let's have a look at the 2023-2024 season. I've sent you the link, Pete. I've sent you the link, Sam. We were sat after 10 games in 18th position in the Championship with a -4 goal difference. Now, bit different
Those
now,
were the
isn't it,
days.
Pete?
Those were the days. Those were the days. Yeah, it brings tears to my eyes, looking downwards instead of upwards. I'm still not. Yeah, I mean that was bad, and it was we've suffered. We've done enough suffering. But again, before we came on the show, we were talking about where are we going to end up and stuff. And actually, if you look at the points that the bottom three have got and what we've got, it's not a massive amount. It's not. So Sam would be, well, both Sams would be the first to say, this division is crazy, and two or three negative results or positive results for people who have already written off Sheffield United. No way are they going to go down, right? If they go down, I will run around the Bet365 in a Port Vale top. Okay, now I'll say that live now on Stoke Fan TV. If Sheffield United go down, I'll do something completely mad. But
yeah, they won't. They won't.
But no, Sheffield United won't go down. They can't go down. It would be a disaster. Sheffield Wednesday will, unfortunately, because I like them. I like them very much. But such is life. But yeah, those were the days last year. It does a good start to any league campaign is absolutely vital, and we've done it. So onwards and upwards.
Yeah, completely agree. What do you reckon, Sam? You've seen the table from last season. What's the big thing that's the difference?
The big difference, mate. The big difference. The reason why Stoke are doing so much better this season. The key word I will use so often with Stoke at the moment, and that is stability in management. Because last season we had the real shocking start where after 5 games, Steven Schumacher was sacked. We brought in Narcis Palak. He went after 3 or 4 months in charge, and it was just a real shipwreck. It was a mess all over. Things weren't right behind the scenes. Then Mark Robbins came in around New Year's Day, I think it was. steadied the ship, and he's continued that into this season. He's a manager with a real good track record in the Championship. He's been so successful in the past with Coventry. And look, one thing I will say, I mean, it is the supporters' job to dream and things like that. And while you're third in the Championship at this stage after 10 games, you're going to be dreaming of possible Premier League aspirations and things like that. But I can promise you now, that won't be the thing at the front of Mark Robins' mind. The Championship is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you've got to stay very level-headed. Just because we've had a good start doesn't mean that's going to continue for the rest of the season. And I am happy with the start. We've looked so good, so consistent at times. But there's still a lot of work to do. 36 more games to go. And all it takes, Pete's already said it in this show so far, but all it takes is a few games. We could lose the next two and be out of the playoff spots like that, click of a finger. So, look, there is positives to take. There is so much to build off at the moment. The fans do have a reason to be positive for what feels like the first time in possibly a decade ever since we got relegated. But, like I say, we're doing okay at the moment. We're third, and that's all that Stoke fans could ask for.
We've got a proper manager, haven't we? That listening to Radio Stoke after the game, more than one guest on that show was saying we've got a proper manager who doesn't talk much. Yeah, Palak would be a cracking talker. He could talk all day, couldn't he? You know, he's a bit like me, really. But Mark Robins doesn't say much, but what he does say, he lets his football do the talking.
Is it reminding you of the Pulis days?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I've even got my cap here. Look, just in case I needed to do an impression of him as well. Yeah. So yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Just a solid manager. Just probably takes no crap off anyone. Sets really high standards everywhere around the club, and has a good team behind him. Like Pulis had a good team around him as well. So yeah, we've just got to just keep going. But Rome wasn't built in a day. So if we can. Top 10 for the next couple of years, and then think seriously about, making the next step. But that's just my opinion. Some people obviously would want us up this year. But I'm not so sure.
I think what I will say, Pete, is I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think progression is probably the biggest thing for Stoke over the next few years. It's very, very unoften you see a team be so average like Stoke have been for so many seasons on end, just consistently mid-table in the Championship, and then bang like that, they're promoted to the Premier League. You don't see that, and I don't think we're going to see that this season. But what we might see is a top half finish, which the fans can enjoy. They can sit back, relax, enjoy the season. And then the summer after you rebuild again, you maybe don't get promoted, you rebuild again the season after. But I do think we're on a trajectory now towards the Premier League. How fast that's going to be, I couldn't tell you yet. But I think we are on an upward trajectory, and it's great to see.
Yes, Stoke fans, let us know in the comments, what are your expectations for the end of the season now, looking at it 10 games in? My expectations are definitely higher than they were at the start of the season. I'm pretty sure we can all agree with that. I think we've had a brilliant start, and I think it'll be great for it to continue. If hopefully, looking at this at Christmas and we're still in that top 4, top 5 sort of area, I think we could all be a little bit more relieved about the situation and not worried that we're going to mess it up. Pete, thanks for coming on today's show, mate. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. And SAMCAM, if you haven't given SAMCAM's page a follow, I don't know where you've been hiding, but make sure you give him a subscribe on YouTube.
Brilliant.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on today, mate.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate
no worries, man. All
it.
good.
You've got a lot of knowledge about football, and I'm sure everyone appreciates listening to what you have to say. Before we end the show, make sure that you give us a subscribe, click the like button at the bottom. I'll try and do the rounds. We'll start with you, Pete. It's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from Pete the Potter.
And it's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from them as well. I will see you all on the next podcast episode of Stoke Fan TV. Go on, Stoke!